Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 2647 establishes a tax credit to help attract new private capital for investments in very low-income neighborhoods. The bill authorizes $40 million per year for 5 years to be allocated as a California New Markets tax credit. In general, the credit parallels the federal New Market tax credit. A key feature of the tax credit model is that credits are awarded to taxpayers through certified community development entities who have as their primary purpose the mission of business development in low-income areas. Taxpayers earn the credits over a 7-year period based on the amount of private capital they have deposited with the community development entity. The $200 million in credits awarded through AB 2647 will result in over $500 million in new private investment. All monies raised through the credit must be deployed by the community development entity in small businesses located, again, in very low-income census tracts. In this way, the tax credit supports both small businesses development and poverty alleviation in California's hardest-to-serve communities. The impact of the credits is required to be reported annually. I ask for an aye vote.
Thank you. Witnesses in support.
Mr. Chair, members, Dan Carrick on behalf of the League of California Cities. A number of other states have figured out that it makes sense to establish programs that match the federal New Markets tax credit. California hasn't gotten there yet. This has been a very good program from the federal level. This can help communities, especially some of those same areas that maybe in the past could have used redevelopment, bring jobs and economic development back to those areas. So we'd appreciate your support.
Thank you very much. Additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon. Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of California Tax Reform Association. We are in opposition to the bill. Existing law defines a CDFI in turn as a private financial institution located in California that has community development as its primary mission. And that lends in urban, rural, or reservation-based California communities. Specifically, a CDFI may be a community development bank, a community development loan fund, a community development credit union, a micro-enterprise fund, a community development corporation-based lender, or a community development venture fund. The existence of California's standalone CDFI tax credit raises some interesting issues. Namely, California already has a tax credit program specifically designed to encourage private investment in underserved markets. Given this fact, does it make sense to establish a second tax credit program with the same goal? If this bill were enacted in its present form, California would have two similar tax credit programs administered by two separate entities with an unclear level of coordination between the two. We ask for your no vote.
Additional witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? Mr. Medina, the author and I have spoken about this bill. It is going to suspense, but I'd like to make some commentary for the benefit of the committee in the record. In its current form, this bill will establish the a California version of the federal New Markets tax credit. The goal is to encourage capital investment in economically distressed areas of the state, which I and members of this committee fully support. At the same time, as was just mentioned by the advocate from the Tax Reform Alliance, there's redundancy and duplication in the current effort in this bill. The state has a credit equal to 20% of each qualified investment into a CDFI, a community development financial institution certified by COIN, which is operated by the Department of Insurance and thus the Insurance Commissioner. I'd like to work within the existing parameters of the COIN program to ensure that we're drawing investment into underserved areas. A portion of the area that I represent qualifies as an underserved area. There's not enough private capital going there naturally. Specifically, I'd like to, within COIN, increase the aggregate amount of credits available from $10 million to $20 million annually. I'd also like to apply this extension of the COIN program beyond what we've already done in this committee. We're going to extend it 5 years. That was in a Tony Atkins bill. We'd like to extend it all the way to 2027. So we would be committed to working with the author should the bill move off suspense at this time. Oh, 24, I'm sorry. I said 10 million to 20 million, I meant 24 million. My apologies. So we're committed to working with the author and the Jobs Committee on this proposal, but we want to see the same thing happen. We just are not in. I'm not currently supportive of a duplicative system. The new market tax credits program is a meritorious program. It's a good program. However, since we already have COIN, it would seem to me that it makes more sense to do it that way. So I wanted to let you know that. I've shared that with the chair and his staff, but wanted to read that into the record and let the committee know that that's what we'll be considering as we move towards suspense, which is immediately following this hearing. And with that, you may close.
I just respectfully ask for your aye vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
Without objection, we'll move file item AB 2647 to the suspense file. Ms. Melendez is next. She has two file items, file item 4 and file item 13. You can take them in whichever order you'd like. What's your pleasure?
We'll do 2040 first.
All righty, file item 4, AB 2040. This is a candidate for the suspense file. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. California is headed into its 5th year of one of the worst droughts in its history. We have seen crops die, water prices skyrocket, and towns lose access to water completely. While blame is being placed on a variety of issues, it is imperative that constituents are given every incentive to conserve the water to which they have access. Last year, Governor Brown called for a 25% reduction in water consumption by the year 2020. This is in addition to a 2009 law that requires water retailers to reduce consumption by another 20% by 2020. In response to these policies, Californians have seen their water rates soar. Instead of punishing our constituents, this bill focuses on giving them an incentive to save water. AB 2040 will create a tax credit that encourages the installation of drought-friendly landscaping and other water-saving measures for residential property. The credit would apply to any landscaping, irrigation systems, and other water-saving measures their local water district has approved as drought-friendly. I am proud to say this bill is supported by numerous municipal water agencies and associations: Scotts Miracle-Gro, the California Retailers Association, the California Apartment Association, and many others. And speaking on behalf of this bill today is Nicole Quinones from Scotts Miracle-Gro.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nicole Quinones here today.
Hold on a second. Witnesses in support. Go ahead.
Nicole Quinones on behalf of Scotts Miracle-Gro and the Consumer Specialty Products Association supporting AB 2040 today. Last year, at the height of the drought, Scotts Miracle-Gro surveyed homeowners throughout California and found that 70% were willing to make significant adjustments to save water. However, there were also 70% in that same survey that said they did not intend to remove or replace turf from their landscapes. While the majority of conversation in this area has revolved around turf removal rebates, which are major renovations with significant price tags. This bill would provide incentives for more moderate changes that can still add up to big water savings. It recognizes that some homeowners may not be ready to completely re-landscape, but could still install things such as drip irrigation system, irrigation timers, which are helpful. And lastly, the governor issued today another executive order to continue conservation measures. So it's very timely and important, and for that we encourage you to support 2040.
Additional witnesses.
Mr. Chairman and members, Dan Keurig on behalf of the League of California Cities in support. As the governor issued his order earlier today, everyone knows that the winter's been better, but we're still not out of the drought. We've got a ways to go to get back. These are things that can actually help save resources, and so therefore we support this as a very, very good bill that's going to be helpful to help save water going forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Keith Dunn on behalf of the California Apartment Association, representing over 2 million units here in the state of California. We'd like to have your yes vote for 2040. We think that it would go a long way to encourage owners to install drought-resistant landscapes. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional witnesses?
Maria Garcia with Greenberg Traurig on behalf of the California Landscape Contractors Association in support.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Angie Minetti with the California Retailers Association, also in support.
Thank you.
Angeline Drummond on behalf of Nexus eWater, also in support.
Thank you. Witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon. Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of California Tax Reform Association. We are in opposition to the bill. Homeowners already have an incentive to invest in drought-tolerant plants and efficient watering systems. We look forward to working with the author some more on the amendments requested. Thank you.
Any additional witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? As is indicated, this is a candidate for suspense. Would you like to close, ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will just close very briefly and say that, yes, there are some opportunities for homeowners to get some sort of credit, but it's clearly not enough, particularly in Southern California, as you know, where we have a very arid climate. And I think if we're going to put restrictions on how much water our constituents can consume, the least we can do is to help them achieve that goal. So with that, I would just respectfully ask that you send my bill out of this committee and on to the next hurdle.
Thank you for your advocacy on behalf of Southern California. Without objection, we'll move AB 2040 to the suspense file. Your next bill, file item 13, AB 2540.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When a person decides to purchase a firearm, they are also agreeing to take on the full responsibility for the safe operation and storage of that weapon. Gun safety and education are top priorities for all firearm owners, responsible firearm owners. One of the first things a new gun owner learns is how to store their gun safely, and this usually requires the purchase of a gun safe or, at a minimum, a trigger lock device. This helps prevent the accidental discharge or theft of a weapon. With the recent rise in gun violence, it is important that we give incentive to the purchasers of these weapons to promote gun safety and prevent any further avoidable tragedies. Very specifically, this bill will create a tax holiday and exempt gun safes and trigger locks valued under $1,000 from the state sales and use tax for 1 year. It is supported by a number of public safety agencies and gun owners of California. Speaking on behalf of the bill today is Matt Silverling.
Thank you. Witnesses in support?
Mr. Chair and members, Matthew Cyberling on behalf of the Association for Los Angeles Deputy Sheriffs, the Los Angeles Police Protective League, the Los Angeles County Probation Officers Union, AFSCME Local 685, and the Riverside Sheriffs Association, all in support. This is prudent policy that will help prevent access to children, help prevent theft, and we support any efforts to incentivize the purchase of these products. And ask for your aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support?
Roy Griffith on behalf of the California Rifle and Pistol Association and the NRA. Strong support this and any bill that leads to safe and responsible gun ownership.
Thank you very much. Additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition?
Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of California Tax Reform Association. We regretfully do oppose this bill. There are many products which enhance the public safety and are built into products for safety purposes, none of which are exempt from tax. Again, we are on record as opposed. Thank you.
Thank you. As was mentioned, this is a candidate for suspense. Are there questions of the committee? You may close.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members of the committee, I would just respectfully ask that you move my bill onto the next committee.
Thank you. Without objection, AB 2540 will be moved to suspense. Mr. Jones, file item 3, AB 1944. This is a vote item, colleagues, for your edification. Present when you're ready, Mr. Jones.
Thanks. Okay. Great. Thank you.
Sit right here. Sit right here. I'll share.
Mr. Chair and members, thank you. I am here to present AB 1944 this afternoon. This legislation would exempt from income tax the value of any medal won at an Olympic or Paralympic Games.
Move the bill.
There's a motion and a second on the bill.
Well, Mr. Chair and members, thank you very much. In the effort to be brief, I will introduce my two witnesses and I yield my time to my witnesses to be able to share their presentation, if that's okay.
And yes, and would you be willing to shorten the sunset for this bill to 5 years?
To 5 years from the
For
date
the sunset, yeah, because the sunset is...
Mr. Chair, if it pleases the committee and yourself, and that helps move my bill along to the next committee, yes, I'd be willing to
Thank you for acting in the spirit of collegiality. Witnesses in support.
Mr. Chair and members, today I have Star Walton Hurley and Heather Petrie, both Olympic medal winners, and they're just going to share their experiences here real quick.
Not yet, but maybe soon, huh?
Well, you never know at my age. My name is Star Walton Hurley. I'm a local product from Sacramento. I am a 1964 winter downhill skier, torchbearer in 1960 at Squaw Valley, torchbearer in 2002 at Squaw Valley also. I am not a gold medal winner, but I am an Olympian, and we have a saying that says, once Olympian, always Olympian, never former, never past. So this bill is really important to me, and as the elder statesman in this, with this group, we were amateurs, and our family supported us, and we didn't receive money from winning. It was how you played the game. Whether you won or lost wasn't material, nor did we have any funding from anyone other until the time we got on the Olympic team. Today it's a different program, and I have a testimony here from a gentleman who is now an Olympic coach, fencing coach, and a member of our Northern California Olympian group and Paralympian group, which is very strong and very supportive in our region, and that's Northern California. We are the northern part of California, and Southern California has its own membership. Greg Masalis is an Olympic coach. He coached the 2016, 2012, and 28 games in fencing, and he was an Olympian 1980, 84, and 88, and he is currently president of our chapter, and he feels that this strong financial assistance, which gives the United States gives $25,000 for gold and 15 for a bronze and 15 for a silver and 10 for a bronze, and it's taxable by the state of California. These kids work very hard to attain to even be to the tryouts for the Olympians and have small subsidies that support them until they are superstars and win a gold medal, not a silver or a bronze, but a gold medal. Then do they get sponsorship and pay taxes? So I yield now to my good friend Heather Petrie.
Thank you so much for your testimony. Additional witnesses in support.
Hello, my name is Heather Petrie. I'm a four-time Olympian in the sport of water polo and medalist.
Wow.
I'm here because when you ask any athlete if they want to train and compete for the Olympic Games, there's no hesitation. They say yes. I know I did. And then it's the logistics of how you make that work that come hit you in the face right after that. Right now, as athletes, current athletes get funded by the United States Olympic Committee through stipends that are untaxed. So in order to compete on the world stage for the United States, we wholeheartedly take that as a very large responsibility. And I know that when I looked at my stipend, I put some aside for taxes because we had to pay that on that amount of money. I then paid for lodging, transportation to and from the pool, and then food because you've got to fuel this body in order to make anything happen. And even with just those basics, we were hard fought to be able to not be in debt at the end of a year. So I know that any bonus that we get, whether we win a medal, goes really to providing some lean on that debt or planning for the future if we were able to then again come back and compete again. So any small bit helps, and I know that this would change the lives of future Olympians if you were able to do this.
Thank you so very much for your testimony and for your competition in representing this great country in the international stage. Are there additional witnesses in support? Are there witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? I know that the bill has been, it's a due pass as amended with a 5-year sunset. Mr. Jones, would you like to close?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I'll just be brief as your analysis quotes the San Francisco Chamber of Commerce. 14% of our national competitors reside in California, so not only are we helping the two young ladies that are sitting here with us today, but we've got a great group of Olympian athletes in California called California Home that appreciate this motion and second and vote as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much. With that, Secretary, call the roll.
Motion is to pass as amended to appropriations. Ridley Thomas.
Aye.
Ridley Thomas, aye. Bro. Aye. Bro, aye. DeBobney. Gibson. Aye. Gibson, aye. Mullen. O'Donnell. Aye. O'Donnell, aye. Patterson. Patterson, aye. Quirk.
Aye.
Quirk, aye. Wagner.
Aye. Thank you.
Wagner, aye.
That bill is out 7-0. Thank you for the presentation. Next up is Irwin, file item 24, AB 2771. This is a vote item. Oh, this is a suspense candidate.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. AB 2771 is a tax code simplification. It changes the California Rev and Tax Code to allow certain taxpayers to use the amount of income tax paid in other states as a tax credit in California. Most states allow a tax credit to residents for income taxes paid to other states, commonly known as other state tax credit. The current law in California, however, requires a recalculation of the credit that can be less than the taxes paid in other states. For example, a California resident who pays $100 in taxes to another state may only be able to claim $80 as a tax credit in California. This increases the chance of double taxation on California residents. Additionally, a deep familiarity of the tax code is needed to come up with this recalculation, making it very difficult for taxpayers to comply. California tax laws should not unnecessarily burden taxpayers who wish to observe the tax laws but lack the expert knowledge and resources to do so. New York, which had similar taxation rules, issued new tax guidelines that prevented their taxpayers from this complex recalculation and potential double taxation. This bill will simplify the tax code to align California with other states like New York to allow taxpayers to use the amount of income taxes they pay in other states as a credit against income taxes owed in California. This bill is supported by the National Federation of Independent Businesses, the Cal Chamber, and Caltex.
Thank you. Witnesses in support?
Mr. Chair and members, Jeremy Mers on behalf of the California Chamber of Commerce. Cal Chamber is in support of this bill, and we thank the author for bringing it forward. We think it minimizes or simplifies, rather, the tax code and to a certain extent minimizes the double taxation that can occur when using different apportionment formulas. So with that, we are supportive of this bill today.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support? Witnesses in opposition? Questions of the committee? As has been noted, this is a candidate for suspense. Would you like to close?
Just ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Without objection, file the AB 2771 will be moved to suspense. That's file item 24. Thank you, Ms. Irwin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mainshine, file item 15, AB 2582. Which one? 15. Go ahead, Mr. Mainshine.
Thank you very much.
I would know this is a candidate for suspense.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. The unemployment rate for Californians with developmental disabilities is well over 80%. Some employers want to be helpful in giving persons with developmental disabilities employment opportunities, including persons who offer lower productivity rates. Under Section 14C of the Federal Labor Standards Act, persons with developmental disabilities may be paid less than minimum wage if their productive capacity is impaired by a physical or mental disability. While it would be valuable to push for minimum wage for all persons employed, including those with developmental disabilities, the employer's needs also need to be considered. In 2013, California made it a policy to make employment in the DD community the highest concern and goal. The goal of AB 2582 is to create a meaningful tax credit that will incentivize employers to offer minimum wage jobs to persons with developmental disabilities who would otherwise receive less than minimum wage under Section 14C. My bill creates an offset or credit between the minimum wage paid and what the person would be paid using 14C productivity measurements. For those who want and can work, we must help make that dream a reality and provide more help to the employers. The bill provides an incentive for businesses to employ people with developmental disabilities by telling them that they will pay the employee at least minimum wage, and the state will help to cover any additional expenses incurred through the tax credit. This solution will strike a balance between alleviating the high rate of unemployment among persons with disabilities and not overburdening the employer with any additional expenses. We have been working closely with employer groups such as the California Restaurant Association, NFIB, and Cal Chamber to make sure the provisions in this bill will get this population employed, and we will continue those discussions as the bill moves forward. I have also submitted authors' amendments to the committee to address the implementation concerns raised by the Franchise Tax Board and the committee analysis. These amendments add a sunset date of 5 years to the bill and make it clear the tax credit is applicable to California wages only. With that, here to speak in support of AB 2582 is Carl London and Dwight Hansen from the Alliance.
Thank you very much. Witnesses in support.
Mr. Chairman, members, Dwight Hansen on behalf of the Alliance, a statewide coalition of providers. We appreciate Assemblymember Mainshine's leadership on employment services issues. He's been doing this since he got here, and we appreciate that leadership. Thank you very much. People with developmental disabilities are as diverse a group as they're going to find anywhere in the state. There are people with great abilities and graduate from high school, go to college, go out and get a job just like everybody else. But then there are other folks who, because of their disability, find it difficult to compete against people without such a disability. This measure allows us to put in a toolbox a collection of incentives to employers to say, one, we have a valuable workforce. We'd like to introduce those workers to you. We're able to bring them forward to you and provide in various ways an opportunity for them to do productive work for you. But secondarily to the idea of a job for these folks is to maximize their income and their earning capabilities. With this bill, we're able to also say to that employer, if you are willing to pay them at least minimum wage or more than what their productivity would otherwise justify you to pay, we'll provide a tax credit to you, providing them, again, an incentive to hire, but even more importantly than that, an incentive for that worker with a disability to earn as much money as they possibly can. For all of these reasons, and because we have an 80% unemployment rate amongst people with developmental disabilities, we ask for your aye vote.
Thank you. Additional witnesses?
Mr. Chairman and members, Carl London here as a lobbyist, but today I represent my views just as a parent. I have a 19-year-old child with developmental disabilities, and I can tell you that it's very difficult to imagine having a 19-year-old and thinking of them differently than you do any other 19-year-old. We all want our children to grow up. We want them to get through school. We want them to get out, do something productive in their lives. And the tough thing is that you want the same for your kids that have developmental disabilities. It's very difficult for me to imagine a son like mine with the disabilities that he has being able to compete out in any kind of marketplace and earn the same wages that others would. And what this bill does is give the employers an opportunity to put this population to work, have support. The employer is going to have to lay the money out. Only when they get in the game, lay the money out, can they come back possibly at the end of the year, depending on their tax circumstances, and apply for a credit that will help offset that gap between what the person could be paid under the federal law, which is based on their productivity, and offset the gap between that productive wage and the actual minimum wage. What's great about this program under federal law is that community-based nonprofits that do this work, we're prepared to do this every day. They go out today, and by the federal law, they have to measure the person's productivity. They have to do it every 6 months. Not many employers will give an every 6-month review. By law, they get an every 6-month review. When they get better at their job, let's say they move from 50% productive because of their developmental disability to 60%, the employer has to give them that increase in pay. What that means under this bill is the tax credit the employer would get would lessen. They'd still be paying minimum wage, but the employer would get less of a tax credit. If the person gets even better, they move from 50 to 70%, the tax credit will lessen again. But the hope is that we'll give employers an opportunity to put this population to work, put our money where our mouth is, and get this population out working, see what they do. If the result was that we get to see more of this population out among us, integrated in the community, that would be a terrific outcome. It would lead other employers to want to get in the game as well, and we may get to the day where we don't need the tax credit. But right now, I'm trying to think of what we would do if this applied to any other population. This one has the name developmental disability attached to it, and this is a population that has an over 80% unemployment rate. The state has passed a law, this legislature passed a law that says that employment has to be the first thing we offer this population, and we've given them barely any tools to get this done. This is a very important measure. I urge your I vote on it when it comes time to consider the suspense file. And it's a very important one for us that have kids who would like to see them move forward and have a chance in the world like everybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support?
Barry Giardini on behalf of the California Disability Services Association in support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. Javier Gonzalez here on behalf of the California Restaurant Association in strong support of the bill.
Thank you. Additional witnesses in support, witnesses in opposition?
Danielle Kando-Kaiser on behalf of the California Tax Reform Association. We applaud the intent of this bill, but we do remain opposed unless amended. We look forward to working with the author. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions of the committee? Mr. Patterson?
I want to know how much, when it comes time for the suspense vote, I'm going to joyously vote for this to come off suspense. Notice one of the supporters is the ARC. My experience with the ARC in Fresno has been absolutely remarkable and wonderful. And going through the employment of those individuals, watching them assemble things and have their pride in the work that they do is terrific. Imagine getting, though, a paycheck that is less than somebody else's, and yet we're trying to encourage them that they are, in fact, welcome at the table and welcome in employment. This provides that avenue to do it, and I'm going to joyfully support this when it comes to the suspense vote. And thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you for the commentary. Any additional questions or comments of the committee? As has been noted, this is a suspense candidate. Mr. Manshine, would you like to close?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members. This is, I think, an important bill when we're looking at any group that would have an 80% unemployment rate. I mean, that's something that I think we as a body need to take measures to try to fix. So I would respectfully, at the appropriate time, request an aye vote.
Thank you. With that, AB 2582 will be moved to suspense without objection. Mr. Lackey, file item 22, AB 2694. This is a candidate for suspense. Mr. Lackey, present your